Lovely. Okay, my name's Aaron Hardy. I think you met me a couple nights ago, and I probably came around your lab room. Hi, yeah. And I invented some of this stuff, so I've been tapped to talk with you about paperless debate. So there's two things that I want to accomplish in this portion of the lecture. Thing one, I want to make sure that everybody, or most of you, leave the room with a working, functional setup for paperless debate on your computer and get Verbatim installed, which is the software that we're going to use at the camp to do paperless debate with. The second thing that I want to accomplish is to give you a brief overview of some of what that program does, both for cutting cards and doing stuff in round. I know that a lot of you have already gotten this information. Maybe some of you have even debated for a couple years with Verbatim or something else, and you feel like it's a little old hat. You should still pay attention. A, you might learn something you didn't know before, or a better way to do something. And B, because I need your help. Okay? Look around you. There are many of you. There are one of me. I'm the one that gets all of the questions. Okay? So if a few more of you who kind of felt comfortable with it knew how to help get some things installed, that would be really helpful to help other people in your lab, etc. I am okay with leaving this room not having every single one of you with a working template. So if in the process of this, everything is just a disaster on your computer, it's okay. I'm still going to come around to all of your labs in the next 24 hours and help walk through any individual who needs additional help getting stuff installed. And hopefully sometime soon, Ricardo's going to be over here walking around the room helping you. Okay, so don't worry if you're a little bit behind where I'm at up here, but if you do have a question that I can help solve your problem in the interim, feel free to raise your hand and let me know. So when you're done with this process, just basically getting set up and getting an intro to paperless, then Maggie's going to come over and talk to you about some basic research skills so you can become a better card cutter and learn how to do research at the camp. And hopefully you'll have a working template at that point so you can follow along with that card cutting process on your own machine. The last thing is that there is a lot of paperless debate related stuff that I'm not going to cover because I only have 45 minutes. And so there's many advanced features built into Verbatim. There's many additional aspects of paperless debating like using Dropbox, using pads, using different other types of paperless debate software, as well as some advanced research tips that I just won't have time for. Later in the camp, look for advanced paperless to be a discussion that we have either in an after lab or maybe as part of an elective in one of your labs, and you'll get additional info on that then. But for right now, this is kind of the basics and getting started, and you should all follow along. Quick show of hands. Who here has already used Verbatim in some capacity at a previous camp, at your school, during the year? Great. Most of you. My only concern with those of you who just raised your hand is that you might have an older copy of Verbatim installed, especially from a few years ago. So I'm going to go ahead and walk through this as if you didn't have it installed, and you should still follow along to make sure you're updated with the latest version of the template, and especially to make sure that you installed it right. I can't tell you how many computers I go around to where somebody assures me that they have the most updated copy of Verbatim and they're sure it's installed right, and all of the problems they're having are just fixed by installing it right. So you should follow along with this even if you already have it on your computer and reinstall it, or make sure that you did what I am just about to show you how to do. Next question. How many of you all have Synergy installed or some other type of debate stuff? Okay. You have to uninstall it for the purposes of the camp. It's going to get in the way of other stuff. It's going to mess around with the files you're going to send to other people. I don't care at all if you want to use Synergy when you get home. I don't care at all if you want to use Synergy on your own time, but you have to get rid of it for now. So if you're one of those people with Synergy, I want you to go to Control Panel, Add Remove Programs, and get rid of Synergy. Okay? And then when we get to the part where we're installing the template manually, I want to show you how to do that. I want you to go in and delete your normal template. And I'll explain that again when we get to that step. But if you're on Synergy, the answer, can I use Synergy at camp? No, you cannot. Everyone else is going to be using the same thing, so we're just going to be all on the same page so everybody's files work with everybody else. Okay, before I jump in, any questions? All right, let's get started. So the first thing that I'm going to have you do is download the newest copy of Verbatim. So to do that, I need you to open a web browser. Hopefully most of you are on the internet. Go to
paperlessdebate.com. It's pretty easy to remember. Click on the Verbatim button, and then click on Learn More. That will take you to the main page to download the newest copy of Verbatim. You should then download the 4.5.1 installer. Okay, you can skip 4.5.2. If you already have 4.5.2 installed, that's okay. If you're sure that it's 4.5.2, leave it there and follow along when I tell you about the manual install. You got a question?
Yeah, I was just about to ask. I was
That's okay if you know how to install it manually. I just want you to follow along and make sure it's installed in the right place. Okay? But if you have the option, this installer is going to make it faster for most of you, so go ahead and install that. Yeah. All of it's from last year, but there may have been some bug fixes released since you installed it at last year's camp, so I still want you to go ahead and rerun the installer. It won't break anything to just rerun that and install over the top of your old one. All your files will be the same. It's not a problem. Yeah? I recommend you do that. Yeah, I recommend that you uninstall Synergy first. It's not necessarily impossible to do it the other way around, but to avoid asking me a question about why something's broken 10 minutes from now, go ahead and uninstall it first. Yes? No, that's okay. It hasn't changed. But what I do want you to do is follow along with the manual installation instructions so you have eyes on how to do it when you have to install a new version next week, when your friend asks you how to fix it, and make sure you know that it's installed correctly. Okay, so the rest of you, download this file. That's going to end up on your desktop or in your downloads folder or wherever. While you all are downloading that, go ahead and ask the basic question. Can anybody tell me what a template is? Yeah. Yeah, but be a little bit more abstract. Like, in general, what is a template? Yeah. You're both right. It does help like format stuff better when you open Word up, but even more generally. In the middle here, yeah. Yeah. It gives you a basic layout. Even more generally, a template is like an original. It's like a master copy. Okay? So you've all used a Xerox machine at some point in your life to photocopy something, probably. You took your original, you put it on the glass, you push the button, and it Xeroxes and makes a copy of it, and you can press the start button as many times as you want, and you will get a bunch of identical copies, right? But you don't do anything with the original. The original stays the same every time, and then you can write all over your copies, but the original stays the same. Verbatim is built the same way. It's a template file for Microsoft Word. It's like a Word document, and it has special things built into it to make formatting and doing repetitive debate tasks and paperless stuff easier. So we take that document and then we use a special function built into Word to create copies of it. And we never edit or use that original in any way. Okay? So don't edit the file you're about to install or download. Just use the built-in functions to make new documents. Okay, so we've downloaded this file, hopefully all of you. Double-click on it. It will give you a setup wizard. Click through it. Take the default installation path, don't change anything, click install, and then it should say it's installed. The easiest way to know that it finished correctly is you will then have a shortcut on your desktop that says Verbatim on it. It will look like this. So that's a good sign that it's all set. Yes? That means you already have it installed. So go ahead and press repair and then run it. That'll just make sure that it's all up to date and nothing's messed up. Yep. So go ahead and click repair if it asks you. It won't hurt anything. If that installer totally crashes, that's okay. I'm going to show you a way around it. Yep. Okay, then I'll have you do the manual steps I'm about to show you. Okay. No. If it worked, if it's been installed and you have a shortcut, you should never need to go to your templates folder. Okay? If this worked and you have a verbatim shortcut on your desktop, you can also choose to drag that to your Word icon if you have it on your taskbar down here to make it easier so that when you right-click, you can see a little shortcut to verbatim. That's up to you. But the way that you should open a new blank verbatim document every time is by clicking on the shortcut. If you do that now, it will pop up with a toolbar labeled Debate at the top that has a bunch of buttons on it. If that does not appear for you, it is not installed correctly. Okay? And if you have multiple Debate tabs, you either still have Synergy or you've screwed up the install in some way and we'll help you fix it. And if you just get a blank document, it's not working. Show of hands, who does not have a working copy in front of them now? Okay, it's like 10, 15 of you. That's fair. I'm now going to walk you through a manual installation that does exactly the same thing that the automatic one just did to make it work. Okay? So here's what I want you to do. And everybody should tune into this part because this is the how to fix it when everything goes wrong part. Go back over to the website. Download the Verbatim 4.5.1 template, not the installer. I guess 4.5.2 is also fine. If you're doing it manually, it doesn't matter. Download that template. It's going to download a file called debate with a capital D .dotm. That's a good question. So what I want you all to do is many of you, maybe even most of you that just downloaded it, have already tried to download this, and every time I open up somebody's downloads folder, there's 15 copies of debate.m in there, okay? For reasons that are totally unclear to me. But what I want you to do is go find your downloads folder, wherever that might be, and then I want you to delete everything except the most recent copy that you've just downloaded. Get rid of all of those old ones and ones that might have been incorrectly installed or that you don't need anymore. Just get rid of them, okay? Then, if you have debate9.m, rename that file so it is just debate.m. It should look like that. Debate.m. Get rid of the number. The file name has to be the same. Does that make sense? Okay. Once you've done that, I want you to open My Computer. So you're just looking at a Windows Explorer window. And then up here at the top, does everybody see where it says desktop and there's some white space over here? Click in there. It'll highlight whatever is there. And then I want you to type the following thing. %. A P P D A T A %. App data. So I'm going to write that up on here in large format so you can all see it from the back. And you should write this down somewhere. It should look like this. %, app data, %. If you type that in up here, it will take you directly to a folder on your computer that's normally hidden. So if you tried to just click there, it would be hidden by default and you wouldn't be able to find this folder. So just type that in. you'll be now in your username, app data, roaming. I then want you to find the Microsoft folder, and then the templates folder. So the full path should be your username, app data, roaming, Microsoft, template. Is anybody not there? There's hands being thrown up. What's the matter? Okay, well, we'll help you, or Ricardo will come over and take a look at it with you. In the back. I can't hear you. Okay. Yeah, the website, the internet in here has not been super great. You can get that file from someone else on a flash drive. If someone's sitting next to you, that's my next recommendation. Otherwise, you can follow along with finding the right folder and then know where to put it when it gets there. What's up?
I have delete.
Yep.
And then delete that. So should I delete it?
My guess is that you're going to delete debate.com. The other one's the new one. That one's old. And you should get rid of that. Yep. Okay. So most of you are looking at this folder now. Okay? Again, if some of you are behind, that's like, okay, we're going to send people around to help you and help you figure it out. This folder should now have a couple things in it. You should see debate.m if you've already installed it. And if you haven't, I want you to drag that template file that you downloaded from your desktop or from downloads and put it in this folder. No. Yours is hiding the extension. Okay, it might just be labeled debate on your computer. It might be hiding the .m. But if you drag and drop the file you just downloaded into this folder, it's in the right place. Yeah. You should have both. Now, here's the part where if you're on Synergy before, you should pay attention. If you had Synergy, I want you to delete all files in this folder that end in .m or that look like a little word icon. Delete normal.m, delete debate.m, get everything out of there, and then drag the new debate file into that folder. So Synergy people, the easiest way to get rid of Synergy is to delete those files. So all I'm going to do from this folder is drag this debate file into this folder. After that, Verbatim is installed. I also want you to do the following. If the automatic, yeah, go ahead.
I don't have Sora graphics, and like we have
Many of you may have nav pane cycle. That's okay. That's installed by the Verbatim installer. That's a little program that you can use that helps work with Word's nav pane. That's fine. You don't need to delete that. Yeah. So the automatic installer will do that. But if you need to do this manually, you can download the timer off of paperlessdebate.com website. As long as the file is called timer.exe and lives in this folder, Verbatim will find it. So it can be the Synergy timer, it can be your own timer, any timer you have. If it's an exe file and it lives in that folder, Verbatim will launch it. In the back. You're at your name, app data, roaming, and you don't have a Microsoft folder at all. Ricardo's going to have to look at it. That surprises me because it sounds like you don't have Office installed. I guess I should have asked, I'm sorry, before we started, does anybody here not have Microsoft Office? Okay, like 3 or 4 of you. That would be an issue. Probably should have asked. Okay. Talk to your lab leaders about the fact that you don't have Office. Okay? That can be remedied. Yes? Right, so talk to your lab leaders. That's what I'm saying to you. Yes? Okay, quiet down, people. Sorry? I think you can delete all of them. Yeah. Word will make a new one for you. It's not a big deal. Yes, in front. So roaming, Microsoft, you don't have templates. Okay. Your copy of Office might have stored that in a different location. Ricardo will come around and take a look in just a minute. You could also just make a new folder called templates and stick it in there for now, but that's probably where it'll end up. Okay, so the majority of you, that should be there. Now there's one last step to make this easy on you. To launch Verbatim, most of the time you will just click on that file, but you don't want to have to come to this folder every time. So all you have to do is right-click on debate.m, right-click, and drag it to your desktop. You'll then get a menu. It'll say copy, move, and you'll have an option for create shortcut here. If you click create shortcut, you will have a shortcut on your desktop, and you can even rename that to Verbatim if you want. That will make it look like the exact same as the installer, and you will have a shortcut right on your desktop to launch Verbatim.
So actually, right-click
Create shortcut. Right-click, drag, create shortcut. Yes. That's fine. Yes. Okay. So the majority of you should now have a working shortcut on your desktop that will open Verbatim. You never want to mess around with this debate.m file. Just leave it alone, okay? You don't want to copy it. You don't want to make new versions of it. You just want to make new blank documents based off of that. So, for example, when I right-click on that, you'll see I have two options, new and open. If I were to say open, it would actually open that file, the master copy. But if you click new, it makes a new blank copy that's based on the template. The default is for it to open a new blank copy. And if you click on the shortcut on your desktop, that's what it does. So you should not need to open your templates folder again in order to use Verbatim. Just use the shortcut on your desktop. Yes? Yep. Yep, I'm about to get there. Okay. So now all of you should double click on Verbatim and open up a blank document. Yeah. When you double click on it, there's no toolbar at all? Okay, Ricardo's going to come look at it. Okay, so almost all of you will now have been given an error message that says you do not appear to have installed a Verbatim toolbar, etc. That's fine. That's normal. Click OK. Now I want everybody to go click on the Settings button. It's on the ribbon. It's in the lower right-hand corner. Click Settings. There's a big button down near the bottom that says Verbatimize Normal Template. Press that button. It will ask you if you want to make a button. Click Yes. You can then close that. That's fine. You can leave that box checked. Yeah, you can leave. It doesn't matter if you check it or uncheck it, but I want you to click that Verbatimize Normal Template button. Okay. Then, if you look at your Home tab, you might have to close Word and reopen Word. So let's do that. Close it, reopen Word. You'll see on the Home tab, most of you now have a big button that says Verbatimize. For some of you, that function is just not going to work. That's okay. All right? Some of you have a particular version of Office or something that just won't work. Don't sweat it. But for most of you, that button will turn a document into a Verbatim document. So if I were to open Word normally without Verbatim, or let's say I opened a document from somebody else that didn't have the toolbar, if you click that button, it will add the debate toolbar to it so that you can use it for paperless stuff. Does that make sense? Okay, so the preferred way of opening Verbatim is with the shortcut off of your desktop. Most of the time, if you have it installed correctly, when you open a file from someone else, it will open up with the toolbar already. But if something goes wrong, you can use that button to make it go away. One other thing I'll throw out there. This is sort of for some of you who are a little bit more advanced or have worked with Verbatim before, or you Synergy people. Some of you will be tempted to rename debate.m to normal.m. Don't do it. I don't want to explain to you why right now, but don't do that. Verbatim is not designed to work that way. If you want all of your documents to be in Verbatim, it's one click. Use the Verbatimise button, and don't worry about it. But don't make it the normal template, okay? If you have no idea what I just said, don't worry about it. That's for those of you who are going to ask me that question afterwards.
If I could add something, if you use Verbatim button and have a document open that already activated, you're probably going to have to activate it or get a card. Or open the other file. So if you have a bunch of files open, you might not see it with this thing, you just have to go through different files and do that.
Yeah. So Alt-Tab to a different Word doc and come back to see the button. But the button usually works. Okay. So now I want to give you the quick run through of what you can do with this. Okay, and I've only got about 15 minutes, so I'm going to make this part relatively quick. Remember, you're going to have more discussions about this, and if you feel very lost by the next 15 minutes, you should tell your lab leaders when you get back to lab this evening that you want to talk some more about how to use Verbatim and how to cut cards with it. Okay? The other thing I'll tell you is that the website that you just downloaded it from, there's also a very lengthy manual that you can read, Verbatim 4.5.1 manual, and it answers all questions, okay, about everything. So download that, take a look through before you ask me a million questions. All right, so here is a little demo of what Verbatim can do. The first thing is, let's cut a card using Verbatim, and you can follow along this process with me. Okay, so open a new blank document from Verbatim. That's what it looks like. Now, I'm going to go find, well, let's just start from the top. What's the first thing, let's say you were looking at a piece of paper with a block on it. What's the first thing you would see at the top of the page for your block of evidence, your 1AC or something? Yeah, the title, right? You'd see a title to what the block was. Well, in the old days, you used to have to manually format all portions of your file by selecting stuff, bolding it, underlining it, centering it, changing the size. Part of what Verbatim does is it makes those repetitive formatting tasks very, very easy. So instead of doing all that by hand, all you have to do is press F6. Some of you are maybe have to press function F6, depending on your computer. And that's easy to swap, okay? But then if I were to type the block, it's right there and correctly formatted. So it also works if it's just regular text and you press F6 on that text, it will make it into a block title. What would be the next thing that you would see in your file? Yeah. Yeah. Did you have Synergy before? No. But it already has something up here that says file title? Does it say that in like a header? Or does it say it like here? It's a pocket. Okay. We'll have Ricardo look at it and figure that out. But if you have a pocket, you can clear stuff by pressing F12 and then pressing F6 to start something. Okay, so what's the next thing that would happen on your block? Your block title, then what? A tag, right? Okay, so that's F7. You can see up here on this menu, there's a list of what all the F keys do. So F7, we'll press tag. This is a tag. Now let's go find a card. Okay, so I'm going to go over to my browser. I'm going to go to Google News. Did everybody hear that there were baby pandas that just got born in Atlanta? Yeah, the Atlanta, I know, right? They're kind of ugly right now. I'm not going to lie. All right, but they look like that. But they're going to be very cute soon. So we're going to cut this card that says Atlanta just had new baby pandas, okay? So I would select all of my text. Then what would I do? Copy it. Now I have to go over to my document. Then what do I do? Okay, about half of you said the right thing, and half of you definitely did not. Don't paste. Don't press Control V. I know you've been hardwired to do that since elementary school computing class. No more, okay? Control V breaks everything. So I'm going to explain why in a second. Instead of pasting in with Control V, here's why. Let's say I selected a bunch of stuff, and I copied it, and I press Control V. All of these pictures and weird formatting and stuff ends up in my document. Oops. I don't want any of that, especially those weird-looking panda babies. So instead, what you want to do is press F2. Up here it says paste text. So everybody see what just happened? It stripped out all of the formatting and the pictures and just left you with text. No. There's only sometimes does it give you the option to paste text only. If you do say text only, you can do it that way. But there's also some other things that are built into it. So here's the first thing. If I right-click and do that, you see how it took me down to the bottom of what I pasted? Watch what happens when I press F2. I stay in the same place. So it's a lot easier to cut a card when you're typing a tag at the top than pressing paste and not having it jump you 3 pages down below where you were. So F2 is preferred. It's hardwired into your fingers. So you're going to send a file, a card you cut, to a lab leader later this week, and they're going to send it back to you because you accidentally put Control V and sent them a baby panda picture when they asked you for cards about politics. Okay? So no Control V, always F2. What comes after the tag? Author, the site, right? Okay, so I'm going to just pretend I wrote this. Okay, so we have a site. Generally speaking, when you read a site, what portions do you read? The last name and the year, right? So the way that works is put your cursor on the last name or the year and press F8. That'll just highlight the last name or the date. Now, what you don't want to do is select the whole line and press F8. Wrong, okay? That's bolding more than you want. You also don't want to press F7 and bold the whole thing because it makes the formatting all weird. So somebody tell me, what is the difference between F7 and F8? They look pretty similar, right? They're just bolded. Yeah. Right. F7 will bold the whole line, the whole tag. F8 will only bold the word that you're on. Okay, that's by design. The other difference is, does everybody see over here on the left where it says navigation? Anybody see what just appeared over here? The tag. If I do F8, that won't show up. So you use this navigation pane like an index on your file, like a table of contents that you browse through to see what's in there. So if you were to open up one of the larger files from the SDI, like the Cuban oil app or something, you could see that this is a list of all of the block titles and tags in the document. If you use the wrong thing, F7 or F8, those won't appear correctly and you'll have messed up the table of contents for everybody else. So make sure to get them right when you're formatting your file. Any questions about that? Okay, so back over to our card. Yep. There is a button here that says Nav. Check that and it will bring it up. In some versions of Word it's called Document Map, in some it's called Navigation Pane. It's the same thing. Now, what will we do next with this card? I'm going to wait to condense it. What will we do first? Underline it, right? You want to underline parts of it that you're going to read, and it's usually easier to do that when you can read the paragraphs. So to do that, you select Parts, press F9, underline it. Then, most of the time, you want to make it into one paragraph. You used to have to go in and press Delete and delete the extra white space. That's time consuming. Instead, if you select the section that you want to turn into a single paragraph and press F3, it will condense the text into a single paragraph for you automatically. Many of you have little symbols that just appeared in your card. I want everybody to do the following, okay? Pay attention to this part. Everyone should do the following. Click on Settings. Click on Format. And then remove the check marks from Retain Paragraph Integrity and Use Pilcrows. Retain Paragraph Integrity and Use Pilcrows should both be blank, and then click Save. That feature is by design. It's designed to put a little symbol where the white space was that you got rid of. But in my experience, you all are bad at it, and it makes the file look bad. So we're going to get rid of them. Turn that feature off. Yeah. That's okay? Yeah. As long as retain paragraph integrity, check that and then uncheck use pilcrows and then uncheck the other one. Yeah. Okay, so the last thing that I want to run you through is the how to do, so that's basic card formatting. There's also several other functions in there that help you format a card. The most important final one is if you select a block of stuff and press F12, everybody watch, it will clear all the formatting. You're going to get a file or you're going to be cutting a card and you're going to be like, I can't make it look like I want. I press the button, nothing happens, it looks weird, it's not formatted right. The best bet is to clear all the formatting with F12 and then reformat it quickly with the stuff you want. So I can take all of that and just go right through and have it correctly formatted really fast. Yes? The Synergy won't uninstall? Okay, do it manually. Delete your normal template from the templates folder that I showed you earlier. And if you can't get rid of it, Ricardo will help you. Yeah.
I want to use settings. I can't use filters and things like that.
Yeah.
And I just say now they go away.
Well, those won't disappear. They won't appear again when you do it next time. Okay. So the last thing I want to show you is the paperless part. Does anybody have any questions about the formatting stuff? Okay, so that's how to cut a card. Yeah. There is. In the manual that I pointed you to on the website, there's a little thing at the top that says, you know, shortcut cheat sheet that'll run you through how to use this in like one page. So you should all take a look at that. Okay, now the paperless stuff. So the basic idea here is that you have a bunch of files, and many of those files have cards you would like to read in them. So you have some cards from the politics file, some cards from your app, some cards from a counterplan, whatever, and you want to get those all in one place so you can read all of them. Okay? Colloquially, we refer to that place as a speech document. The idea is to have one document where you put all of the cards you're going to read and then save it so you can read from that document and put cards in it from all the other locations. So the way that we do that is if you have a new verbatim document open, there's a button that says speech. If you click speech, it will ask you, what speech are you about to give? Well, it's a 2AC, and you should always give it some additional information, like it's round 4 at Green Hill. Otherwise, you're going to end up with a bunch of files named speech 2AC, and you're not going to be able to tell the difference. So give it a descriptive name, click OK. It'll then prompt you for where you would like to save it. You'll note that it has already put the word speech in the name. That's so that Verbatim can find it and knows it's a speech document. And then it's put the date and the time at the end, so it helps you differentiate it from other documents. Click Save. Now, I need some other documents open that have cards in them. So you can open any of the cards, any of the files from the SDI packet. Now, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to put this file over here on the left. I'm going to put the speech document over here on the right where you can see it. Wow. Okay, can everybody see that more or less? So, if I'm in this document over here, and I want to send my oil spill advantage to my speech document, what's the basic way that you could go about doing that? Copy and paste, right? This time you'd use Control-V because you'd want to keep the formatting. And you would just select this whole thing, copy it, go over here and paste it in. That's really slow and really inefficient, okay? You have limited prep time. Instead, what I'd like you to do is click on the block title and then press the tilde key. The tilde key is to the left of the 1. It looks like a little squiggle. And everybody watch up here. Does everybody see what just happened? It beamed the whole block over to my speech document automatically. And if I click over here, you can see that I've got the whole thing. Let's say now, but I wanted to put in a new card right here in between these two cards that I just cut. So I've got this other card down here, this one. If I go over here and I put my cursor where I want stuff to be sent to, everybody see where my cursor is? And I go over here and I put my cursor anywhere in this card and then press the tilde key. Watch in between those two. Oops. Did everybody see that? It just sent that one card right to the middle. Yeah. No, just put your cursor anywhere. So this is the way that works, okay? If you put your cursor in a block title, it will send over the whole block and all the cards underneath it. If you put it in a card or in the tag of the card, it will send just that one card. If you have text selected, like let's say I just wanted to send over this tag as an analytic. If you have text selected, it will send over just the text you have selected. If you put it in an even bigger unit, like a pocket or a hat, which are bigger than block titles, it will send over the whole unit. Yeah. Just go over there and type in off case 1 in your speech doc. That's how I do it. Just manually type it in, whatever you want. Not really. You'd have to strip out all the tags, and that's more annoying for you than not. So that's not a big deal. It's okay to give them the cards that you read and labeled what you read. Okay, So from wherever your cursor is, it sends a unit, and it sends it to wherever your cursor is located in the other document. Does that make sense? Okay. So I am out of time. Does anybody have any additional questions about the basic stuff, formatting or sending to a speech doc? Yes. If you have more than one document with the word speech in the title open, Verbatim will send to the most recently opened file. So if you open one and you open another one, it will send to the second file. If you want to change that, close all of those documents and reopen it in the order you want so that the latest open one is the speech doc you want open. That's by design so that you can like open a 2AC speech doc and send cards you didn't get to a 1AR, for example. Yes? You got a hand? It is you. There's no one else around you.
Is there a shortcut for making all the non-underlined parts, or non-underlined parts?
Yes. Control 8 or press the where is it? Yeah, Control 8. It's in the format menu, shrink font, but the shortcut is Control 8. Okay, any other questions about this stuff? As you can tell from a very quick perusal of this ribbon, there are many, many other functions built into here, okay? There's a timer that you can install. There's a thing that helps your nav pane go through. There's a button for sending to speech. There's a list of the open windows. There's a whole different thing that lets you have a virtual tub that I won't even explain. There's a thing for new speech documents, new documents, an automatic copy to USB button for your speech doc when you're ready to give it to your partner. There's a thing that integrates directly with things like the SDI's website. There's a bunch of different ways to format your file, convert it from an old back file like Synergy, connect, make stuff for a case list. All of that can be described in the manual, or you can ask later. Yeah. Okay. Okay. There could be several reasons for that, so we'll have you ask me later or Ricardo later, and we'll figure out why. Yes. Sure. This is going to change dramatically. By the time you start your season, there's going to be a new version of Verbatim, and it will change how you do this a little bit. But the basic idea is, if we have this file, and this is our speech document from the round, and we want to make it so that you can upload just the sites, we can click this Convert to Wiki button, and it will automatically process it, and you'll end up with this, which you can then copy and paste directly into the wiki. In site format with first and last and correct wiki syntax. One of many cool functions that are built into this. I realized there was one very last thing that I wanted to show you. So let's say you're ready to give your speech now. Okay, you've assembled it. Maybe you've moved some stuff around. You can drag and drop right in this in the nav pane with 2010 or earlier or later. Sorry, 2010 or 2013. So I can move stuff around. Now, when you're ready to read it, you press the read button. Okay? That'll take you to this view where you can see 2 pages at a time. And all you have to do to move a page at a time is press the up or down key. Which makes it a lot faster and easier than scrolling. You can also, if you have an external mouse, which I strongly recommend you all get for this, you can just use your mouse wheel and scroll through your file. So you don't have to have your hands on the keyboard. Let's say I'm reading this card, and I only make it to here, and I don't make it to the rest. What do you do in the debate? You have to say you marked it, right? Say, I marked this card at quality equipment. You could click there and press enter, enter, enter. Or, even faster, click where you want and press the tilde key, and it will insert a speech marker for you. Now, the only problem is when you do that, if I press up and down now, it frequently will then, I'm stuck in this card. See? It won't go up and down anymore. If I use my mouse wheel, though, or I press escape, it will go back to doing that. Escape. But it's much faster to just have one hand on the tilde key as you're giving a speech, one hand on your external mouse. Then I can scroll around. When I'm ready to mark a card, I click, I mark, and I go back to reading. Yes. The tilde key, the same one as send to speech. In read view, it's a marker. Yeah. Why, yes, there is. So let's say you had a bunch of different colors highlighted. Go up here, select whatever color you want. Maybe you just really, really dig blue. Then format, standardize highlighting. The whole file will become blue. I haven't even gotten to show you the cool stuff, and you all are like impressed. Okay. Any other final questions for me? I get there's a lot that was not covered. Yeah. Okay. Yes. What do you mean? You want to select? Yeah. So that function just automatically replaces highlighting, but you can do a custom find and replace to get all the rest of the stuff if you want. Okay. Maggie's here. I'm going next door. Additional questions should be held for later. Ask your lab leaders. Go by Ricardo and ask him to help you install the template, or find me later. Thank you. Any other questions? Let me know later. Maggie's here to talk about research. Yeah.
When I go into read mode,
Yes.
it doesn't let me like enter your cursor.
Doesn't like this there at all. You might be in like some sort of read only. This is like 2013.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. The read view has changed a little bit. There's some. I'm not exactly sure how it works yet, but it might not work in 2013. So stay tuned for that, or play around with the settings and see if you can figure out a way to get you into edit mode. You have to be in edit mode from read mode. Oh no.
Do you think we should tell them to send someone to judge them? Like, because what time is dinner? 5?
Yeah. We can make it a little late. It should be okay. Like, I don't know. You could even do that. Tell them not to read the late.
No one.
Weird. Oh, it's still weird. Okay. Yep. Okay. Hello everyone, hello. We are going to learn how to use Verbatim on a Macintosh. Hooray! Okay, let's get this turned on. Huh?
Did you hit stop streaming?
Nope, I haven't stopped streaming it yet. I will stop streaming it now.